That has to be one of the greatest moments in England knockout tournament football history. Jude Bellingham, 21 years old. England have been absolutely shocking all game. It was embarrassing. It was Wally with the brolly. It was Roy Hodgson against Iceland in France in 2016. Levels bad. And Jude Bellingham steps up with a bicycle kick of the highest magnitude, of the highest quality. He is an icon of modern football. He is generational. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And there'll be people in the comments saying it should never have happened. You should be blitzing Slovakia 3-0. We're going to get battered by Switzerland, battered by Romania in the semis, whoever it is. It doesn't matter, because in this video, I'll be breaking down what happened in the game and that moment in particular. But make no doubt about it, it's one of the most important moments in the history of modern football in England. And the reason I say that is because at that point in the game, the manager's ability to influence the match had completely eroded. Players weren't looking him in the eye. They were not taking instruction. They had completely lost all belief in the manager on the most fundamental level. And Gareth Southgate will come out in the press and get a lot of praise from his media mates about how he made so many substitutions. He got very lucky today. And if it wasn't for literal footballing greatness, we would have been out to Slovakia, which is a criminal sin in its own right for a side as talented as this England side have been. But in this video, we're going to break down all the goals and what it means for England going into the Switzerland game and those big changes that I want to see happen for England. Let's just start off in the first half. We were so bad. It was one of the worst first 45 minutes I've ever seen from England. And I've seen Steve McLaren, I've seen Sven at the end, I've seen Capello, and of course Roy Hodgson. It was so bad. This England side completely go into games not knowing if we should be defensive, if we should be conservative with our passing, if we should be randomly switching it long ball, if we should be keeping it tick-a-tack, little touches into each other's feet, possession style. We have no understanding, and maybe I should do a separate video on Gareth Southgate. Maybe it's wrong. We just beaten them. We should be more positive as England fans. But that first half was so poor. And then that ball comes in for Slovakia. Kyle Walker plays everyone onside. He had a really poor game today, I have to be completely honest. And as much as I think Trent is defensively got liabilities, I think Kyle Walker playing he's played every game. He's played 4 games in a couple of weeks for England at the highest level in terms of the atmosphere, the adrenaline, international football. He's 34 years old, I think it is. He looked a little bit off it today, and that's the first time I can genuinely say that as an England fan. I think he's been good in the groups. It might be a fatigue thing. It might just be this England side needs something different at right back, but he plays everyone on side. Gay, he's on the wrong side. Stones is on the wrong side. No one can get to him, and it's Schranz who has a great little finish underneath Jordan Pickford's feet. And if someone's like, football isn't like naturally in football, rubbish sides, with all due respect to Slovakia, the fact that they're ranked 52nd, I think, in the world, they're always going to nick a goal every now and then. You're not always going to be the first to score in a football game. This is obvious. Roger Federer didn't win the first set in every game when he won Wimbledon. Of course not. You have to get back into sport. That's the nature of the beast. But the way these England players' heads dropped after conceding, not the 80th minute, in the 25th minute, I think that is so deeply alarming with this England side. And whatever you say, there could be 11 Ballon d'Ors on the pitch. There could be 11 16-year-olds on the pitch. It doesn't matter. Ballon d'Or winners on the pitch, sorry. It doesn't matter. If the manager, the figurehead, is pulling them up and giving them belief and giving them strategy and clear decisions, clear leadership, then that doesn't happen and England get back into the game without needing miracles from Jude Bellingham. But if I'm wrong, you have to let me know in the comments down below. Let's be completely real. And for the rest of the game, it was a blur because we were absolutely shocking. The ball comes in. Harry Kane misses us a sitter from 8 yards out with his head. And you just think, wow. Obviously, Phil Foden had this offside thing as well. You just think it's never going to come our way. We're never going to have the quality to get back in the game because this is the issue that many England fans have had in the last few weeks. Results have been decent, unbeaten in the group, couple of draws and a win. But the performances allude to the idea that in the knockout stage of tournaments, when you're trailing a game 1-0 to Slovakia, when you don't have another game to come in the tournament, there's nothing else. It's knockout football. That those performances do matter because it means how can you string 3, 4, 5 passes together to get the quality needed to get back in the game. So the results in the group stages, I think you can hold your hands up and say, yeah, it's a results-based business. Just get out the groups, whatever cost. But when it gets to the knockout stages, you need performances. And it didn't come today until England really got into the latter stages of the game. Let's be completely real about that. It was a crazy moment when Jude Bellingham scored. I've not celebrated like that in a long time. It came almost out of nowhere. The ball comes in. Jude Bellingham's bicycle kick is so crisp, so pristine. And when all the 10 lads around you are playing so badly, and as a 21-year-old who has the weight on his shoulders of he's not done anything all game. We can argue if Gareth Southgate has allowed him to do anything all game, put him in the right position to do anything all game. We can argue that till the cows come home. But to defy the odds, to defy the momentum of the game, and to single-handedly grab your side and score a bicycle kick in knockout stage football, I don't think England have ever seen a goal of that quality, ever. And I might be wrong about that. You talk about David Beckham, Greece, knockout football at a tournament, Michael Owen, 98. But apart from that, it's top 3 goals England have ever scored in a major tournament, arguably. We have to do some history on that. But the goal is out of this world. It's out of this world good. And it obviously gets us into extra time. I've had a few drinks. It says on the screen that Harry Kane scored in the 91st minute. That must have been in extra time. Yeah, fine. And then early in extra time, yeah, that makes sense. Early in extra time, Ivan Toney's come on, which is a big change. We'll talk about those substitutions at the end of the video as well, what it means for England going into Switzerland. Ivan Toney, the ball comes in, a beautiful cushioned header into Harry Kane. Harry Kane enjoyed that. He really enjoyed playing with Ivan Toney for those 20 minutes. It's the best that he's looked against a tired, deep, flat Slovakia side. But he scores the goal that he missed basically half an hour before that. And it's euphoria. England fans in Gelsenkirchen must have been absolutely out of this world. And I can't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I've never seen a performance so bad to get a win at England at the knockout stage of a tournament. I've never seen it. I really can't believe it. And Gareth Southgate has to take a cue from what happened. He has to have some firm beliefs. He has to have a fundamental idea of where he's going to go going into Switzerland. It's all well and good bringing Eze and Tony and all these guys on, Konsa, and obviously Bowen had a few minutes in the first few games of the tournament. I still don't think he has a full understanding of how to fit Cole Palmer in, Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham. And it is getting to the point now where it matters. The stakes are so high now. Quarterfinals of tournaments, you wait years to get there. You wait years, and you've needed a bit of luck to get there. Let's talk about the substitutions that did ultimately change the game. Konsa's obviously come in. He looked decent. I think he was playing at left back at points, but ultimately it was so weird seeing Saka come in at left back. Then it was Eze at left back, who made an unbelievable clearance. I mean, he deserves a knighthood for that clearance to stop Slovakia getting back into the game. Why was Saka not playing at left back and staying there? I don't know. But Eze had to do a shift. Konsa was kind of filling that position as well. Konsa looks like the guy that will be preferred. Obviously, Joe Gomez didn't come on. Now that Mark Gahey's got a yellow card. Conor Gallagher came on, covered ground very, very well. You have to say, Ivan Toney, you have to give a massive... As much as I don't like Gareth Southgate, you have to give massive credit to making that decision, because Ollie Watkins is the obvious one. Ollie Watkins is the one that has a bit more physicality. Has a bit more finishing prowess in the last few months. I'd argue that Ivan Toney's a better finisher as well, even though he missed that chance late into extra time to make it 3-1. But his technical brilliance, Ivan Toney, of bringing people into the game, his first touch is better than Ollie Watkins. He can link up play far better, in my opinion. That was an astute decision from Gareth Southgate to really make that decision. Say, I'm going to trust someone that's played 0 minutes for me at international tournaments. Should have probably gone to the World Cup and wasn't really trusted. And obviously has had 6 months out from Premier League football, had a really flat end of the Premier League campaign, probably looking for a bigger move somewhere elsewhere. And he's come in and been trusted by Southgate, and it has worked. Of all the spread bet gambles that we've seen from Southgate this tournament, this one really did pay off. It was amazing. As a star of the show when he came on, he really was. He beat a couple of men, got some free kicks, the big clearance that I talked about, back post, absolutely superb. And then Cole Palmer as well, who brings so much drive. It's sad because people comparing him and Phil Foden, it's like, I'm sure if Phil Foden was coming on as a substitute, playing right wing, coming onto his left foot, driving with the ball, he'd have a very similar output to Cole Palmer. But Cole Palmer was coming on when defenses are tired, and he looks very, very good. My changes would be I'd keep the midfield, Declan Rice, Kobbie Mainoo in there. Rice needs to rod up his backside. There's no question about it. He needs to do a lot better, I thought. I know he had that effort that hit the post, but he has to do far better, in my honest opinion. Konsa comes in for Mike Gahey. It's a really difficult one. And then if Trippier's fit, I think you keep Trippier. But if Luke Shaw's fit, you bring in Luke Shaw 1,000,000%. And then I don't know why Anthony Gordon didn't play. And this is where it's just like, it's so many players are featuring for England this tournament. It's a madness. You don't start Eze for me. I think give it Gordon. See what he can do. You'll be chomping at the bit. He must have been sat there thinking, why am I not playing? Unless he's got an injury from that bike incident that I don't know about. I'll hold my hands up. So, Gordon on the left, Kane down the middle, Saka on the right, Palmer's first substitute, Bellingham, Rice, Mainoo. I think we look far more balanced. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. But let's just wrap with the Jude Bellingham goal. It is just out of this world. And I think England fans can leave Germany happy now. And it's crazy because going into that goal, England have actually represented football really poorly at this tournament. And I know it's going to be a bit of a negative way to end the video, but I have to do it. The Euros or the World Cup is all football nations kind of coming together, and it's a celebration of football. Obviously, you want to win it. It's a competition, don't get me wrong. But when Morocco go far in the World Cup in 2022, that's a huge moment for that country. And England representing the football nation that is England or Great Britain, however you want to describe it, the great football institutions of this country, are rocking up to these tournaments and not getting good results, not putting in good performances, and really making the representation of what we are as a country, what our brand of football is, our identity, has been really questioned in this tournament. That's the biggest sin, that losing 1-0 to Slovakia would have been this big question mark on, like, where is England football? The guy to replace Gareth Southgate is Lee Carsley. And I don't know enough about him as a manager. Done very well with the under-21s, I think it is. But the identity of German football at the moment is Julian Nagelsmann, De La Fuente at Spain, top-level managers. And it's taken a Jude... The reason I'm talking about this, it's taken a Jude Bellingham moment to grab the game, almost single-handedly grabbed English football and rejuvenated it to the highest level with a bicycle kick that Ronaldo would have been, Maradona would have been proud of. For Argentina, it's that good. And that's just how I have to end the video. We'd be nothing without Jude Bellingham in the start of the tournament, only winning the groups and the knockout stages. I've never seen anything like it. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing a little bit more in-depth going into the Switzerland game. 6 days to go to Switzerland. I'll see you very, very soon.